Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Xiangqi. Today, I'm going to teach you how to record the moves in a Xiangqi game. On Xiangqi.com, there are two systems for recording moves. One is to use the coordinates of the board. Another one is to use the traditional text notation, which is the system that we are going to talk about in this video. It is essential to know how to record moves using the text notation, as in some competitions, players might be required to record their game using this method. Furthermore, most Xiangqi books record the moves using the text notation. Once we have mastered the technique, we will be able to read them and gain valuable insights that will help us improve our games. We will be following the standards written in the World Xiangqi rules. Let's dive right in. There are 3 prerequisites before we dive into how we record the move. We will have to know the abbreviation for each piece, the coordinate system of the Xiangqi board, and the 2 different types of pieces. Let us start with the abbreviation. As you can see on the screen, the letter within each bracket represents the abbreviation of the piece. They are mostly the starting letter of the piece. Next, we are going to talk about the coordinate system of the board. We use the numbers 1 to 9 to label each column of the board. The rightmost column for each player is always labeled 1, while the leftmost column is labeled 9. If you look at the figure, you can find out that only the middle column is labeled number 5 for both red and black. The others are different. Nonetheless, if we add the column number of red and black in each column, the result will always be 10. We have now come to the last prerequisite, the 2 types of pieces. We can divide the pieces in Xiangqi into 2 different types, the orthogonal movers and the diagonal movers. Orthogonal movers are those that move along the straight lines on the board. The chariot, the cannon, the general, and the soldier are the 4 orthogonal movers. In contrast, diagonal movers are those that move in diagonals. The diagonal movers include the horse, the advisor, and the elephant. We need to know about these 2 types because they are related to how we record a move. Now that we have covered the prerequisite, let's move on to the main focus of this video, how to record moves. Every move that we record contains 4 components. The first component would be the piece that we moved, where the abbreviation we learned earlier is used. The second component is the number of the column where the moving piece was originally located. The third component is used to describe the direction in which the piece moves, moving forward, moving backward, or moving horizontally. The fourth part is a number describing the destination of the piece after it moved. This component can be a little more complicated, as it is different for orthogonal movers and diagonal movers. Don't worry, it will be explained in further detail shortly. To make things clear, I will first discuss the steps for recording moves for orthogonal movers, followed by the steps for recording moves for diagonal movers. Let's take the following move as an example. How can we record such moves with text? The first component of the notation is the piece being moved. In this example, the cannon is being moved, and it is represented by the letter C. So, the letter C is the first component. And then, we need to write down the second component, the original column of the piece. From what we discussed in the prerequisite, the rightmost column for each player is labeled as column 1. Since we are moving a red piece this time, the original column of the cannon is 2, as seen from the perspective of the red player. And hence, the second component of this move is 2. The third component is the direction of the movement. There are 3 kinds of movements for orthogonal movers: moving forward, moving backward, and moving horizontally. The direction of movement, whether it is forward or backward, is determined from the perspective of the player making the move. If the piece is moving towards the opponent's side, it is considered as moving forward. If the piece is moving towards the player's own side, it is considered as moving backward. To indicate the direction of movement, the following symbols are used. The plus sign is used for a forward movement. A minus sign is used for a backward movement. An equal sign is used for a horizontal movement. In this example, the cannon is moving horizontally. Hence, we use the equal sign for the third component. The fourth and final component of a move is the destination of the piece. For a horizontal movement, the starting point and the destination of the piece are on different columns. So, the number of the destination column is used as the fourth component. In our example, the cannon is landing on column 5. Therefore, the fourth component is 5. If we combine all 4 components together, the record of the move will be C2 equals 5. It is important to note that no matter you are playing as red or black, the record of this move will always be C2 equals 5. When we are recording a move for red, we should always be using the red player's perspective and vice versa. Congratulations! You have just successfully recorded a move. We just learned how to record a horizontal move of orthogonal movers. The fourth component of the move will be the column number of the destination. But what if the piece is moving forward or backward? The destination and the starting point of the piece will be on the same column. No worries. We are going to talk about that now. Here is an example of a forward move of the chariot. The rules to find the first 3 components of this move are the same. You can pause the video to try figuring out the first 3 components of the test record of this move. I will reveal the answer in a second. Were you successful? Let's find out. The first component will be the letter R, since we are moving the chariot. The second component will be 8, as the column number of the starting position is 8 from the player's perspective. The chariot is moving towards the opponent's side, so it is moving forward, and therefore the third component of this move is plus. Hope you get all 3 components correctly. Now, it's time for the fourth component. When orthogonal movers are making a vertical movement, the starting and the destination column are the same. We need another way to mark the destination. Because the piece is now on a different row of the same column, we can count the number of rows it has moved from its original position. In this example, the chariot has advanced by 6 rows after its movement. So, we use the number 6 for the fourth component. The same rule applies when the piece is moving backward. After we combine the components together, we have successfully recorded the move by R8 plus 6. After learning how to record moves for orthogonal movers, now it's time to learn how to record moves for diagonal movers. Recording the move of diagonal movers is basically the same as that of the orthogonal movers, just that there is a slight difference in the fourth component. Let's take the following move as an example. How are we going to record this move? We are moving the black horse, so we will use the letter H for the first component. From black's perspective, the horse was originally on column 2, so the second component is 2. This horse is moving forward from its player's perspective, so we will use the plus sign for the third component. Note that diagonal movers can never move horizontally. Therefore, you will only see we use plus and minus signs for their movement. For the fourth component, we use the column number of the destination for diagonal movers. It is because the destination is always in a different column than the starting point. In this example, the horse is going to column 4. Hence, the number 4 will be the fourth component, and the complete record of the move will be H2 plus 4. At this point, we have completed the basics on how to record a move. But I know some of you might have a question. If I have 2 pieces of the same type together on the same column, then how do we specify which one we moved? For example, in this situation, there are 2 red chariots on column 4. If we simply record this move with R4 plus 2, when other people take a look at the position and the record, how do they distinguish which chariot was actually moved? To avoid confusion, we need to change the first and the second component in this kind of situation. Let's take this move as an example. We will first need to indicate whether we move the front piece or the rear piece in the first component. From red's perspective, we are moving the front chariot, so we would use the plus sign for the first component. The second component will be the name of the piece, which is chariot, so we use the letter R for the second component. The third and fourth components are just the same as before. It is moving forward by 2 rows, so it will be plus 2. And together we get plus R plus 2. The main idea behind these changes is that we know both pieces are on the same column, so there is no need to tell which column it was on. Instead, we only need to know whether it is at the front or at the rear, as well as its name. However, this syntax cannot be used with soldiers. On rare occasions, you may have multiple soldiers on 2 different columns. In this case, using the plus sign or minus sign alone would not be sufficient, because there could be more than 2 soldiers on that column. In this example, how are we going to record the move? To start with, again, we use the first component to indicate the position of the soldier, except this time we use a number to do so. The soldier at the front is number 1. The second soldier is number 2, and so on. We just move the second soldier, so the first component is 2. Since it is possible for us to have multiple soldiers on different columns, we need to specify the column it was at. In this example, it is column 7. The soldier is moving horizontally to column 6, so the third and the fourth component would be equals 6. Combining all of them together, the complete record would be 2, 7 equals 6. And we finally acquired the skill to record a move. In today's video, we went over how to record moves in Xiangqi. You are now capable of recording your own game and reading move records. On Xiangqi.com, you can click on the Moves tab in your game. And now, you should be able to understand the move. You might find that the text notation system has some tiny differences on Xiangqi.com compared to the one in this video. For example, we use B for elephant and N for horse. This is because there were no formal documentations before the World Xiangqi Federation released one. Most Xiangqi softwares followed the notation systems in chess, and so did Xiangqi.com. Nevertheless, the basic principle is very much the same, and you should be able to read through them. If you find this video helpful, please like the video, comment below, and subscribe to our channel. You could play on Xiangqi.com by clicking the link in the video end screen. If you want to play over-the-board games, you could click on the Amazon link in the description to purchase the Chinese chess set offered by Xiangqi.com. You could also join our Discord community by clicking the invitation link in the description. Stay tuned. I will see you soon.